So listen to what Cryptic had to say about the Band of Air.
This is now Band of Air questions. The Band of Air has been brought up in the chat. I'm sure Miku and Brett have seen it. And there were also some questions that were asked about in the rewards, the forum thread. So I'm going to kind of roll them all into one Band of Air ball. Regarding basically any changes to Band of Air, any type of system that might allow players to get the components in a different way. Basically, Brett, I know you and I had spoken about this, so do you want to
Yeah, I'll jump into
talk
this
about it?
one since it's a very poignant topic that a lot of the community cares about. So, step one, Band of Air. In terms of the overall balance and whatnot, being blunt, there are technical issues with the Band of Air. And when I say technical issues, I mean that we have found that some of the mechanics related to how the Band of Air procs, it is allowed to proc in situations where it wasn't supposed to. This has led to it dealing more damage in some situations than it should. That being said, it's also very equipment and class specific. Some classes have under the hood mechanics that allow it to proc more than we expected, and some pieces of gear and things like feats and whatnot also have under the hood mechanics that allow it to proc more than it should have. That technical issue will be fixed at some point in the near future. Now, that being said, it will have a drastic impacts on the Band of Air's balance, and because that will be very differing on a per class basis, we have not checked in that technical fix to live because we want to appreciate what the actual impact is on players when we do it, and then reevaluate the baseline balance of Band of Air once those issues are fixed. The general technical issue right now, and this is what the community believes it to be, is that the Band of Air proc can proc off procs. That is not exactly the case under the hood, but that is sort of the rough effect of what happens. There's actually a few items in Neverwinter that we discovered also have this bug that unfortunately Band of Air also inherited. Fortunately, most of those are other items that players don't care about that much and are some of our older items that we don't have as many issues with. But Band of Air unfortunately inherited it and was also very strong to begin with, so it multiplied itself into causing some issues. So we were looking at Band of Air. We will be fixing the fact that it procs off procs and changing that around, but we will also then have to reevaluate the baseline balance of Band of Air because we don't want it to drastically cut out certain builds that were using it a lot, etc. So there's some changes that are a bit more complex for Band of Air that we'll have to go through. But in general, we were not trying to make it such that we have the Band of Air procs capable of procking off other random, sometimes seemingly unrelated things, such as like the Radiant Golden Lion stacks or other things like that can cause the Band of Air to proc as well. That is not an intended interaction, and that will be removed in the future, and we will readjust the baseline balance of Band of Air based on those interactions no longer being possible. So that's the long, complicated story behind Band of Air in terms of its balance. Now, as far as to its obtainment, yes, we actually have some work scheduled, hopefully here, that we'll be able to get to in the next couple of months to make it easier to obtain Band of Air as well as many of the other items found in Vault of Stars. We are directly going to look at the reward tables for Vault of Stars, both from the Twisted Denizens hardcore content as well as the regular stuff, and make a pretty sweeping pass to make most of the things there more accessible, especially even other forms of rings too, like the Red Eyes Glare and other popular items in that vein. So changes will be incoming to that. I do not expect them to launch live with Dragon Slayer, but if things go smoothly, we may have updates of that out here shortly afterwards.